The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. And boy, am I happy today. Does it have anything to do with the market? The answer is no. It has to do with there's something, a little yellow thing in the sky is up, and there's not like bits of humidity coming down and hitting me in voracious amounts. I think it rained 30 days straight in a row. It had to be awful close. And it actually got some this morning, but it's been sunshiny since then. The water's kind of off the streets. It might be just the break I needed. That and good music before the show here. Nothing like a little bit of Fleetwood Mac to get you started on a Monday. Of course, the market is up and in rally mode. We're at 2103 on the S&P cash, 2.1 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape as we speak. So the volume is good. Is it enough to reach escape velocity? It is not yet. We need to see a whole lot more. But I've seen Augusts in the past, where they just turn the thermometer up just a little bit more each day, just a tiny bit. So you have to kind of watch out for that, especially when everybody wants to leave for the Hamptons, which is exactly what we're into. They had the little shakeout. Now they're running it up. But a lot of these sectors continue to look incredibly weak out here. If they can't run one, they run something else. Today it's Apple. It'll be something else tomorrow. And again, just not the kind of volume that you need in Apple, 36 million shares so far today. Pretty much a dead cat bounce. We're going to get into probably the biggest weakness that Apple has and the news that came out that highlights that. I was very surprised to see Apple up today on that news, but I don't think a lot of people are thinking too far forward on Apple. And of course, the pundits of Wall Street are out there flogging this as much as they can along with the rest of the market. And I think we're in one of the biggest distributions of all time in the stock market, and these guys are probably jumping up and down for just the ability to be able to do that. Of course, it is thin markets, and you can push them around quite a bit, push them up, push them down. We might not have resolution until September or October, but as I said before, this is why I bought puts all the way into October and November on some things, and we'll, for the most part, try to sit on our hands as long as possible to give these markets the chance to give us our daily bread. But I do start to digress. Now, something's happening out here that I'm unaware of. See, how do I do that? Come on. I want to go up there. How do I do that? I'm stuck. Maybe I can do it this way. Yeah, I can do it that way. Okay. I forgot my music today. I don't know how I could forget my music. Do I need one more level up? No. Where's my little music? There's my music. We'll get it settled and started. I am coming to you across the airwaves today on Windows 10, so I've made the leap, and it's a good leap, but it continues to be not just a couple of little sore spots that I need to get settled out. And, of course, everything's just a little bit new, but it's no different than it was in the past. It is just a little bit of history repeating. And on this day in 1987, the Wall Street Journal reports where 8 investing experts think that the stock market is headed. Greta Marshall, of the Chief Investment Officer of the California Public Retirement System, otherwise known as CalPERS, forecasts that overvalued markets can become substantially more overvalued. Technical guru Joe Granville, who lived in the same city I did and actually came in to the store far before I had any idea what stock markets were, but I knew he was kind of a semi-famous guy, called the bear market of 1981 and 82, foresees the bull market running for at least another year. Just 2 months from now, the bull market collapses in the worst crash since 1929. And I don't know, it looks very, very much like that now. Not the worst crash, but I mean, it looks like they're doing everything in the world to say this market can only go higher. And of course, there's always those that will look on the bright side of life, but in reality, markets just don't go higher. Nothing but blue skies do I see. I think we have a lot of blue skies out here at the end of the summer, but markets just don't go straight up. And that is always going to be it. We're no hearing your track. Didn't hear it. Well, we'll have to work that out. Somehow I probably don't change everything. Just me singing? Well, that was good. Probably loved me singing Nothing But Blue Skies. Do I see? I don't know why. Well, I'll have to continue on just the way it is. Okay, what else do we have going on here today? And you didn't hear my history repeating? Did you hear that? Didn't hear my history of repeating either. Okay. Well, there's a few more bugs in the Windows 10 transition to work out here yet today. But we will work it out. Anyway, other things going on of interest. Probably the biggest one out here, and most people have kind of whistled past the graveyard. I haven't heard anybody really speak of it on CNBC or seen them. I fast forwarded through all the stuff. I'd never really spend a lot of time listening. Verizon is getting rid of its subsidized phones and contracts. What does this mean for Apple? It's not clear what they're going to do with contracts that they've had already, and whether they're going to re-up customers that have already had it. But these new plans become available the 13th, in 3 days. And the announcement doesn't say anything about killing the existing plans. But I would watch for whether or not they will be the first round in the chamber. And that will be exactly what we're looking at here. And that is what happens to the folks that have these plans and don't want to pay $800 for a phone, because that's basically what they would pay if Apple wants to continue going on. I guess Apple, that's pretty much almost $800. But I don't know. It is tough. Your sound quality is not up to snuff today. Well, we'll have to figure that out also. I don't know why it would not. It sounds great to me, but we shall see. Of course, anytime you change anything, there's always a ton of things to change. Anyway, we're at 2104 on the S&P Cash, up 26 points. Volume has been very light since we started the show, and we'll continue looking at that. Have a few other things going on that we wanted to talk about, and we're going to have to get into this also, and maybe I'll figure a way to do it. Yep, there it is. Okay. TWTR. And what else do we have out here? Twitter's getting a little bounce out today, but to me, it looks like an ABC and a ABC down. I don't know how much farther you have to go in this. Volume has picked up a little bit more than the last 4 or 5 down days, but this stock is so heavily shorted that it doesn't truly matter. And we'll continue to look at that. And let's see. You've got a little bit of volume. This thing's got a little running room, probably to about $31. That was the high volume down day. And what is that? Control W, is it? Control W, yeah. So, what else do we have out there? Okay. And, yeah, you got 93 million shares that day. We've got 29 million shares up so far. So that would be something we'd look at. But and what's the bottom of that candle? They closed at 31.24. So maybe you got another buck and a half in it before you start running into resistance. But see a lot of people talking about them getting a CEO and bouncing. And I don't see how they have any answer to the problems that they already have. Some of the other companies I wanted to take a quick look at because of news was Google. Of course, they had big movements from their earnings, came back, kind of partially filled the gap. And I did read an article over the weekend, and that article basically talked a great deal about how and what is happening in the ad space. And I use an ad blocker. I don't know how many people know what that is, but I use Firefox and Chrome, and a lot of those particular internet browsers will allow you to put add-ons in, and they will pull those out. No, I don't use Opera. No one uses Opera. Forget Opera. But it is a deal where basically a lot of the ads that will load up in your web page will not be shown, and they don't have to load them either, so it makes everything much quicker. But right now they're figuring that somewhere around $200 billion a year is being lost to the ad space because of them. And I thought, is that going to be something that gets any better or gets any worse? And the question is, how many people even know about it? I think people that are fairly technical do. But looking at this, actually, longer term, Google is one of these stocks that has the ability, longer term. Let's go out here and look at this. It's got some major gaps that are open that have not been filled. The one that I'm looking at is somewhere between $340 and $400. And as we look at that, it continues to make me think that we've got the second gap here of a 3-gap play. So maybe you got one more gap that you'd be looking for on this thing, and then you'd really have to worry. You could also make a case that it is already a 3-gap play, so you'd be wanting to watch it here. But I think we get a fill of that gap sooner rather than later. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Thinkorswim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Back yet? That come back a little bit better? Okay. Well, apparently Windows 10 has still got some teething on us to do. And I guess we'll, after the show, go back and work on those just a little bit better. Anyway, we were looking at Google out here. Hopefully the charts are looking good. At least yeah, I know, you hate on anything that's new. Our engineer hates everything that's new. He's a Luddite. He likes Windows 98. He's a big fan. Anyway, other things we were looking at here. If you had to pick a day for Mr. Buffett to come out of the woodworks and flog his international business machines, you couldn't have picked a better one. A little bounce out here today, but it's kind of a little bit different in trying to figure out actually what's going on. It is, you know, I wouldn't say that it's even up out of the trend, and certainly the volume out here is nothing to write home about, kind of like the general market. I'd have to say that you get a lot more out of IBM out here. But the volume that it came off of certainly looks to me like it wants to go trade 149.52. But he's been on CNBC in the morning and replaying a great deal back here. Back to that January 29th low, 149.52. Another stock that's driving the Dow today is Boeing. It had kind of pulled back off. My guess is eventually, if you wanted to buy this, that 135 level has got a double gap, and that gap is probably exactly where we're looking to get into. But, bounce today again. Day isn't over yet, but volume is not all that terrific. Doesn't look like it's out of the trading range, which continues to be kind of like the broad markets out here. That is that. We've got Bob from Greeley, Colorado. How you doing today, Bob?
Good, David. A couple weeks ago, you were talking to Tom about Samsung developing a big plant for memory. And I got to hear the tail end of the deal, but how will it affect Micron Technology, Intel, and all the other companies, and AMD?
Well, we basically said that it was probably, 6 months ago that they got into production, and that's
right.
why Micron is way off. Is that there was a huge commodity business, and it happened because there were two different things that happened. One was a memory manufacturer caught fire and burnt to the ground. And the second one was another one went out of business about a month before. And Micron really took off like a weed, mostly because there was just a complete lack of manufacturing. Samsung built $1.5 billion or $3 billion to build its own memory manufacturing plants, so they wouldn't be in that position anymore. They'd have first call on memory. And that's going to keep the generic memory down long term for Micron. But the conversation I think had a couple of weeks ago with Tom was them coming up with a brand new form of memory that's called mem resistors. And this is memory not based on transistors, which has been since mid 70s. Everything that's been made is some form of transistor. And I think that's pretty much it. Micron's probably going to do very well with this new memory. If everything they say is true, they'll be in production in January, February of 2016. And
would it affect Intel?
Yes, Intel's partners with them.
Oh, they're partners with them.
Yeah, you want to hang on for the break, through the break, and we'll talk a little bit.
No, I'll let you go. I'm sorry to bother you.
Check out.
All right, thanks, David.
Check out 2 weeks ago the Tech Insider. We discussed it in that hour. You can go back to the archives. We'll be back in a minute.
All right.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Tom O'Brien has just announced a live online workshop taking place Wednesday, August 12th, 6 trades for September. This special event will be open to all subscribers to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. Tom will walk you through 6 trade setups in the market he's identified setting up for September. 2 long positions, 2 short positions, and 2 option trades. New subscribers will also receive a free copy of his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, an $88 value. But we're not done yet. We're also including a Tiger's Den membership as part of all Market Insights subscriptions at no cost as well. You get Tom O'Brien's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, 30 days of his newsletter, Market Insights, access to his live online workshop, 6 trades for September, and access to the Tiger's Den. This offer is only valid for 2 weeks, so don't miss out. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to Market Insights at the front page of TFNN.com today.
If you're looking for a great opportunity to diversify your financial portfolio, consider the Principal Protected Market Safe CD from Everbank. They've just released the second running of their 5-year Market Safe Power Metal CD, which combines the power of gold, silver, and copper. You get exposure to 3 valuable metals in one index CD and have the potential to earn up to 45% capped upside payment at maturity if the metals increase in value across annual pricing dates. And should they decrease? No worries. There's 0 risk to your deposited principal here, as you still get 100% of it back. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on the CD. Intrigued yet? The August 17th funding deadline is quickly approaching. So hurry over to everbank.com/TFNN for more information, including important product details and disclosures. Once again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Everbank is a member FDIC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Scott has emailed in, and you can also at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. And I don't know what else we can say about other than that, other than his pithy email. And I like pithy, to-the-point emails. Scott in sunny San Francisco says, today's gold and gold price gains enough to make the shorts cover tonight and or tomorrow. I don't think so. I mean, when you look at this chart, other than people playing this thing for dimes, hard to see. And until, this gets up to about 107 and 107.75, it's just filling this huge gap down that happened on the 20th. So technically, I don't see anything that has changed. I do like this pattern, though, and I've talked about it for a while. You want to see gold go sideways for a while. I don't think I can read anything into it. I would have liked to seen a lot more volume come in here today in the GLD. The other thing that has me a little bit still on the fence, I think last week I said I was agnostic on gold. And I would see myself a little bit as far as this, if you're going to have to break through that level at about 107 to really get anything going. You've had such a trend out here. I don't know if there's, when you look at this, it just looks like it continues down. And could you get one more move and sharp move back up? Or is it just a continuation of ABC downs? And I would say you'd have to look to the dollar. And to me, why the dollar's off 39 cents today, it still looked fairly low of volume, and also driven by China. We didn't even get into that. That was China being a issue with them throwing huge wads of cash one more time at the market. And we'll continue to think about that. But, does that wad of cash that China threw last for more than one day? As far as volume goes, what have we been up here? 30 minutes for 100 million shares on the NYSE. That tells me that we are right back to what we had before, which is anything above 2108 and the volume turned to dust. It looks to me now like anything above 2100 and the volume turns to dust. Are they going to try to run some shorts out here in the thin markets of the summertime? I think the answer is you could see some of that, but without the IBB running and without some of these other ones, it just right now looks like a dead cat bounce off of a huge move last week. And almost all that dead cat comes from a company called Apple with $4.50 up. It looks to me like it's doing all the heavy lifting in this market. And again, this Verizon news probably the first thing that could truly put a chink in the armor of Apple, and we'll continue to look at it. And we've got some other things to look at here today, so we will get into it. LinkedIn, wanted to see how this was doing. It had finally come back here and hit this gap, and of course it blew apart, kind of came back down here, but the gap started on the 1st of July last year, or August, 1st of August last year. And you had 10 million shares. You came back into it. The question is whether or not this is just a tiny respite or a buying opportunity. The volume that this came down on the 31st, again, was 10 million shares. You're down to about 1.6 million shares on Friday. Today, about 800,000 shares. You're going to need, again, everybody's looking at these charts and thinking there's V bottoms everywhere. And they're tending to look a lot more like GLD bottoms when we're talking about U bottoms out here. To me, this one looks a lot more appetizing to me when you come down with massive volume. But even if this does bounce, gold's going to need and becomes a bull market. Gold is going to need some time to consolidate. And, we've got probably the biggest bounce in a lot of these truly dog stocks. I heard somebody actually say, while I was fast forwarding and I stopped, said, even dogs get to go to the park once a week. And it has been kind of a dog with fleas. So I would say that you don't either have a sign of strength yet, you don't have 3 days that tell you a sign of strength, and you haven't tested this move up here. If you're long, I think you've probably got a good chance at 107 on the GLD, but does that change the long-term trend? It does not, at least for me yet. We need some other sign. We need the dollar to fall apart. We need something else. And 40 cents down on the dollar here today with massive amounts of China money throwing around. It just looked to me more of Fed and Treasury and central bank jiggering out here for what's going on. Hopefully the sound is sounding better. Do we have anything in here? Can you look at GoPro? Yes, I can. GPRO. This thing's been in a nice trend up from $37.13. You're back up against these high volume pushes up and high volume push out here. 18 million shares with 5.7 million shares today. I went in and talked to the people at Best Buy this weekend about how they're selling, and they weren't real pumped on how on GoPro. At least the retail assistants weren't. We're going to go to Steve in Largo.
Hey, Dave, thanks for taking my call.
Hey.
A couple of Fridays ago, you mentioned that Intel had developed a new chip that, if I understood correctly, is 1,000 times faster and 90% smaller than current technology. Is the industry going to replace all the computer stuff with this new chip? In other words, will the whole inventory have to roll over? Will I have to get a new iPhone or a new iPad? And is everything going to change?
Yes, but probably not tomorrow. The memory that we talked about it's a technology called mem resistor. And a transistor is basically a three-wire device. You put voltage to two of the wires, and voltage, if you actually put it, can flow out of the other one. So it is the equivalent of your wall switches for the most part in your dining room, where you have one wall switch on one room wall and one on the other. And no matter which way it's flipped, you flip it the other way and it turns the light on or off. And those are kind of like called and NORs and other gates like that. But it's going to start off, for the beginning, it's going to be expensive, and almost always they go to the people can afford it. So these are going to be very big computers. They're going to be things used in data warehouses and that kind of stuff first, and it will slowly migrate down. But I would say probably 7 to 10 years from today, you won't see anything with DRAM in it anymore. All memory will be probably some form of this. HP's working on it. I don't know how far they're along with it. This deal with Micron and Intel, they're saying they're ready for sale in the first quarter, which means that they've already contacted other manufacturers and said, hey, we've got this thing. They probably contacted them 6 months ago.
Did I understand that properly?
They're probably 6 months down the line in building things, because it doesn't do you any good to build this stuff and not have anywhere to put it, right?
Right. But did I understand that correctly? 1,000 times faster than current technology?
Yes.
Wow.
It's Intel and Micron. I actually called it out loud in the den. I think it was between 3 and 4 on a Monday a couple of weeks ago. You might still, I bet you probably find the press event on YouTube or on Intel's website if you Google for it. But it's, yeah. And, normally there's always the gotcha, from being a hardware and software engineer. There's always, well, okay, maybe that's just the reads, not the writes.
Right.
But the guy from Micron in the press said, no, it's both. It's 1,000 times faster on both sides. And the reason why is that all you have to do is apply a voltage. You don't have to wait for a quantum event to happen in the transistor. So the way these things work is you put like 1 volt through it, and you can tell whether it's a 1 or a 0. But if you put 10 volts through it, you can change it from a 1 to a 0 or a 0 to a 1, whether you put the voltage through it forward or backwards. And that's all you do. You're either a little bit of voltage, it'll tell you what it's set at. If you put a whole lot of voltage through it, it will do it. And I mean, now if you got 5 or 10 years out of a stick of memory, you'd probably be happy. This memory is probably going to last for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's just so darn simple. And because it only takes 2 wires to get to one single memory address, it is infinitely smaller. It's a huge technology. But the real big thing, we talked about it on the Tom O'Brien show 2 weeks ago ad nauseum. But the big thing is being able to shove massive amounts of memory in the processor, so it's not on separate memory sticks. And Intel's looking at putting all this massive amounts of memory inside the processor. So if you're looking at scanning documents, let's say all the health records of America, it would take forever to go through all the databases on a hard drive. By putting it all physically in memory, let's say that you had terabytes and terabytes of online memory, you could be there. The other thing is this memory doesn't have to have power, so it uses a whole lot less power. So it acts kind of like a memory stick in your computer. When you pull it out, it's still there. So you lose power, it's still there. You shut the computer down, it's still there. So it's not like transistors where, you've got always got to be putting power to it to make it work.
So once this gets rolling, everything's going to be replaced. Once the manufacturing up.
Yep, over time it certainly is going to be.
Wow, that's a lot of computers to replace. Everything's going to get replaced.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to all happen at once. Like I said, it'll happen where you don't see it to begin with, most likely in the data centers, because this is where it's going to make the biggest difference. Instead of, like I said, looking at all the health records in America and taking...
Well, that has all kinds of implications. You can access all the emergency rooms at the same time if there's a disease breakdown.
Well, it would be orders of magnitude faster. So if you want to do real-time data analysis for sales, let's say it's noon the day before Christmas, does it take, how long does it take to find out that you still have a bunch of TVs at Best Buy, so you need to mark them down for the last few minutes before Christmas Eve or something, Being able to do everything in real time is really the goal between Intel's and Micron in this memory. And looks like Micron's going to sell the individual sticks with this stuff, and Intel's really going to concern themselves of building it into their processor and building big servers with it. Anyway, I got another call here.
All right, man, thanks.
You bet. Thanks for the call. Going to go to George in Arizona. How you doing, George?
Hey, great. How are you? I apologize for my voice. I survived throat cancer, so.
Okay.
Hey, how is GPL, Great Panther?
Great Panther is still in this huge down day from the 19th of June. And I don't know what else you could say about it other than that, unless this is a bad tick on it. Until we start seeing some sign of strength, this is a bounce and a downtrend to me.
Right.
Or sideways, at best, the sideways move, in which case you'd want to watch this thing for a while. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a movement out here, but again, one day does not change a trend.
Right.
So I know Tom's very bullish on these. What I really like about Great Panther here, the most part is this right here. And if you want to play stocks for a bounce, you should be looking at this chart I have on Tiger TV right now. See that when you come down to a low like this and you get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days out here, that's exactly what you're looking for in a bottom. And that's the part that you look at if you think you want to get in at a bottom. That's exactly the kind of boredom, everything else. And what that is there's somebody down here that is probably got an order in at $34 or so. You want to hang on through the break?
Thank you very much.
Okay. So yeah, great buying pattern. Does it mean that the bigger trend has changed or even the medium trend? No, not really. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. And, you've got these markets that are kind of bouncing a bit. Of course, if they have anything to do with commodities, that's what and why they're bouncing, mostly because China threw a giant wad of cash at this market, at least the commodities market. That's what a lot of people think anyway. Volume continues to say that it's going to be kind of tough out here. You'd want probably a lot more out here, but when your stocks are down at $10 and it moves $1, it's a 10% move. And of course, that's what we see in FCX today. But again, if you look at the bigger trend lines out here, I don't see anything, nor do I see any kind of volume that tells me that this is a sign of strength off the bottom. Even if it was, you'd probably like to see today retested. But at least if you were thinking about buying these, there's at least a goal for you now. You've made at least one low that you can get retested out here. And, to me, where if you do a nice little trend line down here in FCX, I really don't see much else changing. Let's turn that off there. It's a nice day, but is it any more than a dead cat bounce in FCX? You're really going to have 2 or 3 more days to say something like that. If you're playing the counter trend, 1250, 1240 on something like this would be right back up to the highs. Yeah, 1260 on the 29th of July. And that pretty much puts you there. other stocks of interest. Groupon. We talked about this one forever. It was one of my GRPN. Night of the Living Dead stocks. Oh, yeah, I noticed my TiVo that the Walking Dead is back. I didn't know it was coming back last night. No one told me. So I've got that to watch tonight. Anyway, down even farther out here, it was off pretty significantly, down as far as almost 4%. I think it's still off 2.5%. Again, a downtrend that probably not going to stop until it hits zero. But, you know, you've got a lot of these living dead stocks that are telling you a great deal of what's happening in the market. Like I said, Twitter, a lot of these things are just, it's not the big companies bouncing, it's the dogs that are bouncing. And, you know, when you have a lot of short interest in a stock, it doesn't take much to run it and get a lot of people out of it. They're sitting on some big wins, and that's it. And, of course, the most important stock of our ETF of all out here that we're all watching is the IBB. And if there was anything else, I would probably be watching to say that this market is running, going to run back up to previous highs again. It had to be the IBB, and the best we can get out of this is a low-volume doji out here today. Now, this is pretty much exactly where the first bounce in the IBB should have come from. But to me, this thing is still in an ABC down, and it may just take a couple, 3 or 4 days or 5 days to build some energy to go basically lower. But there's nothing like a momentum ETF and momentum stocks in a group to have a big hiccup and on light volume find the depths of despair in this market. Anyway, you all have a great and safe and wonderful day. We're going to have another 2 hours from the one and only Tom O'Brien. We'll hear his call on gold, which I guess everybody's probably waiting with bated breath to have today. And in the meantime, I'll get a few more of the bugs ironed out with my computer changed, and we'll be back better than ever tomorrow. So remember, sell when you can. Probably a good time to sell if you're bouncing in a stock that you're on the wrong side of. Sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.